Hi guys, Lindsay here with Storybook Family Farm. So normally for this type of video, I like to be walking around and, just figure out a spot that feels right to sit and talk with you guys. But today it is actively raining, so there's really only two places I could have sat. Well, three if you count the barn, but the roosters are crowing and just making a ruckus because it's raining, so they're grumpy. So there was also underneath of the covered porch, but none of the lighting was good unless if I was like the backdrop was our house, and I'd much rather you guys get to look at nature. So I'm actually underneath the clubhouse thing that's over by the spring, in the area that in previous videos we've talked about is eventually going to be our Zen garden space. So I thought it was fitting to talk about this. So today I want to talk about my biggest dream, like the dream of all dreams, the biggest thing that I could ever come up with that I actually want to do. And it's actually probably going to surprise a lot of people because it has nothing to do with what I'm actually doing. So for a long time, for many, many, many years, probably the last 6 years or so, I've had this dream. And it's always been this constant thing of, well, how do I get there? Like I have to do this, or I have to do that, or I have to do this or that or the other to try to facilitate this dream. And the more that I try to chase after doing all these other things to get to the dream, the further the dream seems away. So I think that, I don't know, I'll just tell you guys, and then, we'll just evolve together through this conversation. That's the nice thing about these heart-to-heart videos, is I can just sort of, it's almost like a diary entry for me, and it helps me to actually like dial in what it is that I actually need, what it is that I actually want, and that sort of a thing. And it's, I don't know if you guys like it or not, but, let me know in the comments if you guys do enjoy these sort of videos, because if not, then I'll just shoot them and then delete them. Like, I don't know. But anyways, so my dream of all dreams has nothing to do with making bread, and it has very minimal things to actually do with homesteading. So back when I first started having this dream, it was probably about 6 years ago or so. I actually was working on writing a couple of different books. Like I started writing a book series. It's called Lila's Demons. There's 4 books that I've self-published in that series. I've actually written 5. I lost interest. I stopped writing and stuff. So while I was writing the books, I started writing them when I was in like the darkest place, like mentally and emotionally and even physically, of my life. And the books very much helped me. It's a fiction series, so it's not like real life or nothing. But through the creative process of writing them, it actually helped me heal immensely. I started writing as a means to help me heal, and it did more than that. It helped me heal, it helped me grow, and it helped me shape myself into a new version of existence, which is just tremendously good things have happened because of writing the books. Even though like I didn't, become some sort of big name, fancy pants, famous author or anything of the sort, but it completely and utterly changed who I was at a core level and helped me heal from a lot of deep internal wounds that I'd been carrying for a very, very long time. So it was very therapeutic. But while I was writing, I had this vision, I had this dream that I thought that writing books was how I was going to facilitate it, because it would require a lot of like funding and stuff. My dream actually is to create some sort of like I don't want to call it a nonprofit, but I mean, it wouldn't be for profit. I don't know what the terminology of it would actually be, but the dream that I have is to create some sort of place or foundation or something where people can come, people of all ages, all economic backgrounds, all social backgrounds. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter how much money you have, or what your anything is. None of that matters and stuff. Now there's so many different things that you can get grants and scholarships and funding and all this stuff if you're dirt poor, or if you are in the foster care system, or if you have certain amount of DNA in you, and just all these crazy stipulations and stuff. I've never been any of those minorities, even though I am a very pasty white lesbian woman in a very small town that, was very much discriminated against for whenever I first came out, especially in high school. And it was all sorts of ugly. Like I know all about, being mistreated because of, different things that are beyond your own control and stuff. I also am a neurodivergent person. So there's a lot of cards stacked against me and stuff in terms of, sticking out like a sore thumb. especially at a place that, you know, being different at all is not okay. But so anyways, what I want to do is I want to create a space where people, no matter where they come from, no matter how old they are, because there's also a lot of things too that are stipulated on, you know, your age, that you can get help with this or that or the other if you're under a certain age or over a certain age. But I want to create something that is basically like a skill-based type of thing where people can come to these, like, where they're free to the participants, you know, donation if people want to donate, I guess. I don't know. That the money aspect hasn't ever been important to my brain. But where people can come and they can learn, hands-on learn, different skill sets, like almost like a one-on-one or a small group, small class type of setting, where people can come and learn and take different workshops of different things that they actually want to learn about. Like, you know, not just specifically things that are related to homesteading like that I cover in this channel, but also things like minor maintenance on a car. Things like, you know, wanting to learn how to do some minor blacksmithing type of things, wanting to learn how to cut hair, wanting to learn about flowers, wanting to learn about herbs, about medicine, about making tinctures, and about, you know, doing a whole bunch of different things, and about cooking. You know, there's such a lack in the school system where people are not taught things that are like really important life skills and adult skills and stuff. You know, like you used to be able to take like home ec and that sort of thing. They'd actually really teach you stuff. But nowadays they don't. Like, and there used to be like wood shop in a lot of schools, and due to funding and stuff, a lot of this stuff has been cut out. But my whole dream has always been to create something that, you know, people can come and they can learn things that they really want to learn from people that are, you know, somewhat experts in that area, that have a lot of experience, that have a desire and a passion to teach others and stuff. And I want it to be something that is, you know, geared towards anyone. Like, have it be that there's specific times and, you know, different workshops that are for people that are developmentally disabled, people that have, I just seen a chipmunk walking around over there. He went down a little hole, so I can't spin around and show you guys, but I just, out of the corner of my eye, just, squirrel. But it wasn't, it was a chipmunk. But anyways, so I want it to be something where even people that have learning disabilities or that have, you know, special needs or even physical disabilities can come and can experience things and learn things and stuff, that it can be characterized, like brought down and broken down to people that have specific needs and stuff, so it can be as long or as slow and or as fast as people want to go. You know, that's what I want to create, where it's not like, you know, some sort of like class or school or anything, but where it's like an actual like hands-on learning experience where people can sign up and do, like, you know, phase 1 of, you know, car maintenance or something, just for example, and stuff, where phase 1 is they learn to change their own oil. Not a lot of people nowadays know how to do that. You know, and then you could have it be that phase 2, the next workshop or whatever, is, you know, changing a tire. You know, just very basic stuff. Like, cars are the easiest thing for me to figure out ways to just, you know, little bits and pieces and stuff. But that is like the ultimate biggest dream that I could dream and stuff, is that's what I want. You know, like, a lot of people would think that what I actually want is that I want, you know, our bread business to go crazy and all this stuff. I don't. Like, which is really shocking to say that out loud, like, especially to like say that to the universe, that I don't really care about it. Like, it's a way to make money. It's a job. I'm really good at it. Like, I'm not tooting my own horn. I know that it's a really good product. I know that it sells well and stuff. I'm the one that's making it and stuff. I know that it tastes amazing, but I also know that part of that is because of the love I put into it. Part of that is me. You know, ever since I was little, like as far back as I can remember, I insisted that I could tell if somebody put love in the food. I insisted that I could taste it and I could feel it, I could sense it and stuff. If, like, somebody was angry when they cooked it, if they weren't happy, if they were frustrated, if they were tired and all that stuff, like, that's part of why it's so energetically draining for me to do the farmers markets and stuff and to do the bread, is because I put myself in such a place of just love and stuff to pour all of that energy into the bread. That's what makes it feel addicting for people. That's why when people are having a really rough day or a rough week, they crave my bread. It's because of what I put into it. It's because of the energy. It's because of the love. And to be quite honest, everything I try to do, I try to put that same amount of love into it. And it's just, there's so much more to me than just making bread. And it's hard because it feels like with doing the farmers markets and all of this stuff and being known for my bread, that people only know me for my bread. And that's one nice thing about doing the YouTube, is that I can, showcase that I do more than just bread. Like, that I'm not a one-trick pony. And throughout my life, I've always been made to feel like I was damaged and that I was only good at one thing. Or, like when I was young, I played softball and I was really, really talented at it. But I was only good at being a catcher. I was good at batting and I was good at running the bases. I'm very fast at running, which is comical since I have to wear ankle braces now and I have joint problems. But nonetheless, I was very good at that. People only wanted to get to know me based on softball. They didn't care about me as a person, me on the inside, who I was on the inside, what I actually wanted. None of that. People only seen the one thing that I was good at. And no matter what I do, like occupation wise, or where I go, or anything of the sort, it's always the same thing. It's always, oh, Lindsay the bread girl, or oh, Lindsay the softball player, or oh, Lindsay the nurse's aide, or oh, Lindsay the disabled girl, or oh, Lindsay the weirdo. It's always been like one thing. I'm sure there's more than one thing that makes me seem kind of odd, but nonetheless, and it's really frustrating because like there's been times throughout my life that I've struggled a lot with feeling like I was damaged and that I was only good at one thing because that was what people only saw me for, that I wasn't good enough and stuff to do different things, to try different things and all of this stuff. And I always felt like I needed some sort of external validation to basically, I needed somebody to tell me that I was good enough at the things that I liked and stuff, the passions that I actually had inside, not just, the things that everybody else seen that I could physically do and stuff. I'm a very hard worker, and throughout my entire life, even growing up, I was praised constantly for how hard I could work. But it made me feel like if I could not physically do things and do them at a certain level of like capacity, then I didn't have any worth. And that's part of why I want to, start this, this dream that I have, is I want to actually call it More Than Damaged Goods, because I want to be able to reach the people that feel like they're really good at this, or they've always wanted to try this, but they don't have somebody to show them, to teach them, to help them unlock different passions that they think they might have and stuff. Like I am an extremely intense, passionate person. Like I fall into so many different hobbies and so many different passion projects and so many different things. I get very scattered and stuff with it because I will dive headfirst into the one project and I will get tunnel vision on it and I won't stop until it's done. And then once it's done, I feel empty because it's like, oh, well, I completed it. Now I have to find a new passion. Now I have to find a new thing that I love, which makes it so I have, a very well-rounded, well-balanced amount of skills. Like it's kind of insanity what I know how to do and all that stuff because I dive headfirst into so many different things. But that's part of the basis of what I want to create. I want to create a platform where people can tell me what they want to learn from me and I can show them hands-on what they can do. And I want to validate that no one is damaged. No one is, not good enough. That there's always something that you're good at. There's always some way that you are enough. Even just existing, you are enough. And that's what I really want to be able to, somehow, some way be able to bring to the world and stuff. There's a lot of people and things like, when I first thought of this idea, this dream, I really wanted to gear it towards people that were, the chair's lopsided, sorry, back. The ground here is all lopsided and wonky and cattywampus, but like I needed a spot where the sun was, like the light was actually hitting my face, so I didn't have like this blacked out face, and yeah. I want to make sure you guys could see me. But when I first created this, like when I first had this epiphany, this dream pop up into my mind of this thing that I felt compelled that I was going to do, that I was going to create, that I was going to start and stuff. I had initially first thought about that I wanted it to be geared towards kids that were in like the foster care system or, that were adopted or things of that nature, where they had limited amount of like people they could learn from, people that they could get love from, people that they could, really glean information from and stuff that weren't going to be judgmental, that were just going to be open-hearted and stuff. And after sitting around with this dream in my noggin for a while and stuff, it made me realize that, it's not just people that, don't have, like legit parents and stuff that need something like this. It's literally everyone. There's people in their 60s and in their 70s that still want to learn stuff. I assume that I will probably be one of them old people that's like, you never got to stop learning. Just because you're old, you can still keep learning. I'm sure that I'm going to be one of them people, because at my age now, at 31, I'm still constantly looking for new things to learn. I want to absorb as much knowledge as possible. Like, it's kind of one of my hobbies, actually, is learning things, learning new things. But that's basically the basis of what it is that I want to create. And I've noticed that every passion project that I have, every occupation that I started doing, like when I was writing books, I felt like, okay, I have to write these books so then that way I can create this, the more than damaged good thing. I have to, become successful in writing, so then that way I can help other people by creating this foundation, by creating this, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if it'd be considered a foundation or not. Like, that's just the easiest terminology for my brain to come up with. But like, it was literally everything that I was doing, even with doing the bread, even with, creating, the business and all of this stuff and making all of this bread. I had dreamed that, like somehow like the bread would become uber popular, and I would no longer have to make it anymore. I would have like some sort of distribution thing happening or whatever, that I could, somehow become wealthy with making the bread and not actually have to work a regular job or have to do hands-on stuff. So then that way I could focus on creating this dream. And in the last few days, I've been thinking more and more and more about the dream. And I've realized that no matter what way I'm trying to, go about finding a way to create it, it doesn't change. The dream is still there. It's kind of like when we wanted to move to the country, but there was no way forward and stuff for us until we like made a way and carved a way and stuff to get out of town. Like, I think that this is kind of one of those things that I'm going to have to just sit with and figure out in a serious manner of what I can do to start making it happen, to start teaching people, to start reaching people, because I feel very deeply in my soul that this is something that I am meant to do, that is very critically important for me to do these things. So I think that at the end of the day, that's what I ought to do, is not focus on how I could work and do something else to then eventually one day create the dream. I think that what I ought to be doing now is actually actively working on just creating the space for that dream, allowing me to have the headspace to, and the energetic space to birth forth the dream and stuff that something just moved back there, probably a chipmunk. There's a lot of them over in here. They know it's starting to get cold out because I keep seeing them running around with their cheeks all like, so it's kind of cute. But yeah, like, I think that it's time that I ought to stop focusing on other ways that I could make that happen and just start focusing on making that dream happen in some way, shape, or form. Because I think that ultimately I've been on this really long journey of self-discovery and discovering different skill sets and all of this stuff, simply for me to realize that I'm more than damaged goods, which is so ironic because that's what I initially thought that I should name the dream and stuff. I think that I've been on this journey of discovering a lot of things and deep reflection and deep realization to realize that who I am is enough. That who I am, that the love that I can give to humanity, it is enough. And like, even just being able to say that out loud on camera, like, it feels incredibly moving to me and stuff, and almost empowering to me, which is so silly because I'm literally just talking to my phone. Like, it's so funny how this is gonna like facilitate healing within myself. Like, it's kind of great. But throughout this whole thing of just this constant circling and cycling through different hobbies, different things, different passions, different everything that have just lit me up again and again and again and again. I've always realized that, like, if I enjoy something, I'm good enough at it. Like, I love to paint, like paint pictures. Like, I'm really good at painting like interior stuff, like interior of houses and that sort of a thing. I love to trim paint. I'm really focused on that. I like that a lot. But I like to paint pictures, like paintings. I like to draw and stuff. And I've always thought that, like, I couldn't ever try to say that I was an artist of any sort because I wasn't good enough. And, you know, a friend, he had made a post and stuff that, like, he was setting up like an art gallery type thing, and he had said that so many different artists had said, you know, do you think this work is good enough to be in your shop? And he was like, you brought it here, so it's enough. You are enough. You are good enough. And that, like, triggered me so badly inside that I was like, well, dang, Joe, like, that's kind of deep. He has no idea about this and stuff. But, like, all of these different things and stuff, like, whenever I'm really, like, struggling inside and stuff, and I like talk to myself, like, while I'm like chopping wood and doing different things, like, I always have an inner dialogue going, and a lot of times I will start saying like different mantras of like that I am enough, and, you know, different things like that I am the best version of me that there's been yet, because I'm the furthest evolved, I'm the furthest grown, I've gone through the most stuff, you know, I have more life experience today than I did yesterday, so therefore I am the best version of me. You know, just different weird stuff like that to try to, like, basically rid myself of so much negative headspace and negative talk and self-hatred. Honestly, it's hard to be vulnerable on camera. It's hard to watch yourself on camera and stuff, and it's hard to be authentic and stuff, and to watch back and to hear back, and, you know, different things that I've been judged on throughout my life and bullied for. You know, I'm seeing all of them. You know, it's like I'm looking in a mirror, but it's recorded, so I can watch it again and again and again and again. And it's kind of, it can be hell sometimes, but yeah, at this point, I think I just need to begin. I think I need to just to restart and just simply begin. I am enough now, and I'm not damaged anymore. And throughout this video, I've realized that. So I don't know if I'll end up posting this or not. I probably won't, just because it is so long, and it'll probably screw up the algorithm on YouTube. But I don't know. I'll probably refilm, see which one I like better, and then post it. So if you guys see this one, this is the winner. But yeah, so if you're enjoying our content, please give this video a thumbs up. Share it with your friends on social media. If you haven't already, please subscribe to help us grow. We would greatly appreciate it. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.